Okay, so we're going to review por versus para here. So I like this. Por is used to express movement through time or space, and this can be a physical transaction, such as I'm traveling through France and Spain, right here, or it can be like the movement as an exchange of money, right? Like I'm moving this money from this place to this because I'm paying you for this sandwich or something. It can also be the duration of time. So like it says, express movement through time or space. So if I'm saying how long something lasted, that would be duration of time, and that's por. And then motivation or reason for doing something. And it says a motivation or reason. I don't like the word reason because I feel like that's confusing to people. I like better to say something or someone to blame for why I'm doing something. So that is your cause and motive right there. Maybe cause and motive and reason. Again, I don't like reason, so maybe someone to blame, but that's kind of in this category right here. So that's what you want to think of overall for the word por. And then moving on for para, you're going to convey destinations or endpoints. So y'all know I love that pretty little graph that's a big old circle and it's got like the compass kind of through the middle. And the por are the lines in the middle of that circle, and the para is are the endpoints or the destinations. So that's what para is conveying here, the destinations or endpoints. So physical location. So if I'm leaving for Chile tomorrow, salgo para Chile mañana. Chile is my destination, okay? People, and that's just the regular old, like at Christmas, I write a gift tag for the presents I bought people, and it says para abuela de Tara or something. So for grandmother from Tara. Deadlines, and again, that's my end result, right? Like that's my destination or my end point is to turn my project in. So necesito la presentación para el viernes, and there's actually a typo right there. It should be a C, an accent, below. And then goals. And that is the in order to, right? So I'm going to do my homework in order to get a good grade, or I'm going to call my mom in order to tell her the story. So voy a llamarle a mi mamá para decirle lo que pasó, right? Like in order to tell her what happened, and that's my goal when I call her. So moving right along, we kind of went through the core stuff, and then para, a weird one that people forget sometimes, is employment. So trabajo para, Conroe ISD, trabajo para HEB, trabajo para Shell, trabajo para Exxon, whatever. We already talked about intended recipient and destination and deadline, both of those kind of the same thing. Comparisons. So that's right here, para mí, para ti, right? So if I'm saying that this salsa is too spicy for me, that's kind of comparing it back to myself, right? So it's me saying, for me, this is a little too spicy, comparing it for me. Para ti, quizás no, maybe it's not for you, but for me it's too spicy. This is also the way I like to tell it, that backhanded compliment that we sometimes give each other, like, oh, for being so blonde, you're still smart. So, para ser tan rubia, todavía eres inteligente. So rude. But that's what I would use there. It's a comparison. And then the purpose is right up here with the people or the recipients. Or, again, the goals. So, not the purpose, the goals. Back to por, just to review those. Agent, okay, so I said this in some notes in class. If I'm going to use the word by, there's two ways I can use it with por, and there's one way I can use it with para. So with para, I use by to say I need it by Monday, so a deadline, right here. And then for por, I can use it to say this book was written by John Grisham. I can also say I'm going to go by the park on my way to the mall, or I'm going to go by the grocery store on my way home. And it also has it right here by, so I could say like me pagan por día, so they pay me by the day, like each day, right? So there's actually three ways I can use by with por. Reason and cause and motive, those are kind of the same thing to me. It's like, what can I blame for why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? I might do it with a goal of doing something, but what exactly could I blame? Like I have to go to the store for milk, por leche, right? And that's the reason why I'm going to the store. I could also say I'm going to the store with the goal or the purpose of buying milk. So voy a la tienda para comprar leche, or voy al supermercado para comprar leche, or voy al supermercado por leche. Either way, I'm buying milk at the grocery store. It's just a different way that I can say it. Choice is hardly ever used, but there it is for you. Exchange and substitution again. If I'm moving money into your hands to get something back in my hands, that's por. Now, if I bought a t-shirt from you and I paid $3, pagué $3 por esta camisa, or camiseta, right? So I paid por la camiseta. But if I now am going to give the t-shirt to my friend, la camiseta que compré es para mi amigo. Does that make sense? So I've got, and then general location. So people can say para acá or para aquí, and then they can also say por aquí or por acá. The difference there is, if I'm saying para, I'm literally telling you that your destination is wherever I'm talking about. If I'm using it with por, then I'm just talking about this general location. So I can literally say ven por aquí or ven por acá, like come over here. But it's if I'm using it in the actual use of like your destination is come over here, so ven para acá. Does that make sense? Either one of them works again, but it's more like I would use por more around like, there's a weird smell in my room, por aquí, and like be moving my arm around like this area right here is what stinks. This general location, not para aquí, because para aquí would mean like, hey, come on, smell, land right there. Anyway, and then route or passage, which we already talked about, an approximate time or the duration, so we've talked about that as well. All right, so there's also some expressions, they're right here for you. Let's see, para siempre, para variar, para qué, por ejemplo, por favor, por ciento, por supuesto, por qué, por fin. And then here's some other ones in these boxes here, and hopefully you have these sheets. So let's do a couple practice questions. All right, so voy blank su casa esta noche. Sorry. So if I'm going, I'm assuming to their house, right? I'm not going through their house or by their house. It really could be either one, but let's say that we're going with the destination of their house, which is what they wanted us to do. So, is the destination. Maria studies. So does she study on account of dentist, or does she study in order to dentist? I would say she's studying with the goal of being a dentist. Does that make sense? She's not studying because her dentist told her to. So she's studying to be a dentist. That's her goal. Blank fin, mi hijo se graduó de la universidad. So that's a saying, and it's right here, so it's por. Tiene que devolver el libro, blank, el 21 de junio. Entonces, he or she needs to return the book, something about 21st of June, which I would assume is my deadline, which would make it my deadline. Choose the correct preposition for each sentence. Limpié la casa, blank mi amiga. So did I choose to clean the house for my friend as a gift, or did I clean the house like for my friend? Like I literally took her place to clean the house. Again, I don't know what they're asking here, but I'm going to say para mi amiga because I did it. Yeah, she's the recipient of an action. I could also clean the house por mi amiga, but that would mean like maybe her job is to be a house cleaner and she couldn't work that day, so I went in and I cleaned the house por mi amiga. Like I went in and was the agent that cleaned the house instead of her. Okay, next question. Este es el informe blank la profesora. So again, I'm assuming that that's the report for the teacher. She's my destination. I'm turning it in. But again, it could have been written by her. Okay, good. She's the recipient. Vamos a Peru, blank las vacaciones. So we're going to Peru in order for vacations, or are we going to Peru on account of vacation? I'm going to say por. Oh, it's Peru, the destination. So that's my, vacaciones are my destination, okay? Escribe a máquina 60 palabras por minuto. That's a rate. Aquí está el regalo para María. That's the gift for María. The vacation one don't make sense. Laura va a leer for how long? Duration of time? 2 horas. Choose the correct preposition for each sentence. Voy a estudiar por 3 horas. Again. Me gusta hacer compras. So I like to shop on the internet. Does that make sense? So that's my mode of getting something done. So it's going to be por internet. Te amaré. I'll love you forever. Para siempre. And that's just one of those words right here. Next. Ayúdame, por favor. That's easy. So this book is boring for me. So that's a comparison. La chica está en la clase. So why is she in the class? With the goal of studying mathematics. And by the way, I said this before, a lot of times when you have an infinitive after the blank, it's usually para. It's not always, but that's a good guess at least if you don't know what's going on. He estado en la computadora por, again, duration of time, 3 horas. Blank meet, again, it's a comparison. Para mí, los buenos amigos son importantes. Hablamos por teléfono, communication. El avión sale para Perú a las 2. Again, that's my destination. Fue a la tienda para comprar leche. And we'll do one more. Hicimos reservaciones en el hotel blank la próxima semana. So that's kind of my deadline. Does that make sense? Because I'm going to get there next week. All right. So there's your Por en Para video.